Wonderful. Recording. Right. So today we are going to read extract from a script I wrote this week called Quarters. It's a science fiction story. And as we read it, hopefully the story will become obvious. It's important that we read, we listen to the tone of the story, we figure out how the characters are interacting, and what do you think is the central condition of the characters? Who are they and why are they like this? Because we will write individual monologues or scenes. It doesn't have to be talky. It can be you doing things. And, we will read the monologues next week. I will edit them and fuss over them and make a, big stink about why you're doing this. And then we will shoot it the week after this. So you have a whole week to write it, think about your performance, read it at next week's Zoom. Okay. And then the week after that, not this next week, we will shoot it. And I would like us all to get together with another member of the Rebel Film Alliance to shoot it. I know some of you already started talking about who is where and who can get together. Christopher, for instance, has amazing kit. He's very, very accomplished. Anybody near him is sorted, I would say. But if you're writing and reading and shooting your own thing, that's fine as well. I'll try and help out whoever wants any help. Anybody in the UK, Juan, Chris, I can help you out. But yes, that is the plan. And what we're going to do with this shot material, it is just for us to look at it and study what something that we shoot together could possibly look like, what we can achieve. So, ideally, don't shoot it like a Zoom meeting sitting in front of your computer. Shoot it walking around the house, shoot it in the garden, shoot it on the street, let us see where you are. Give us a sense of place, give us a sense of your character, obviously without taking any risks, right? Do not jump off bridges and things like that. So just keeping that in mind, we shall now start the reading. Who is doing the narration, please? Christopher, Braxton, who's got it?
I can do it.
Okay. All right. Ready to go. People who are reading, can you please put your cameras off? And you'll go full screen. Okay. And this is Quarters, science fiction short script. Let's go.
Well, here's the thing. We never went out of the house.
Interior, screen of a computer monitor showing surveillance data of an indistinct CCTV image of a man walking up. Interior day, Harley's bedroom. A spare ship-style cabin. Harley, a man in his 30s, dressed in a utilitarian jumpsuit, leaves his bunk bed and walks to a small table. He pours himself a glass from the water dispenser and looks at the window. The window is a frosted glass square, softly glowing with light.
It was always a mild 18 degrees indoors. It was also always light.
He puts the glass down, opens the door and goes out. Interior day, main lounge. An almost featureless white shell. The main lounge is a wide room with high ceilings, currently suffused with a colorless, clean radiance. An entire wall is spanned by frosted glass windows through which light pours in. It's completely opaque. A semi-analog timer softly ticking on the wall. The timer clicks to 8130.
That was how every day began. Just when the six of us had slept ourselves back into wakefulness, or most days, anyways.
Interior day, Calvin's room. Another cabin identical to Harley's. Calvin, a bulky man, is asleep in his bunk. Harley gently shakes him awake.
Is it time?
Yes.
Interior day, hallway. The other doors are opening and their housemates emerging. Dapple, a young woman of about 25 with stunning gray eyes. May, a tiny plump woman, slightly older than the rest. Pife, a tall, gangly man, with an untidy blonde beard, all dressed in the same utilitarian jumpsuit. They troop after Harley. Interior day, interrogation room.
What was it time for?
It was the main event of each day when we opened the store. It's where all our supplies arrived. We would lock the empty room every night. And in the morning, food, linen, and new washing machine would be waiting inside.
And you never wondered where these things came from or who provided them?
Calvin looks at him uncomprehendingly.
Never mind. Continue.
Interior day, main lounge. There are 2 doors into this vast room. The larger one looks sealed shut with a wheel lock set into it. All 5 housemates are standing around the smaller door.
I hope I get some cables. Coaxial, you know.
We'll eat you before we starve, Dapple.
They all laugh briefly.
We always laughed at Calvin's joke, even though he made the same joke every day.
May fidgets a little.
Where's Jagger?
He's late.
Close on the timer on the wall, it reads 8900. Interior day, moments later. Close on the timer again. It reads 9300. The 5 are still stood around the door. Their postures have only slightly changed. Finally, Harley pushes open the storeroom. The heavy door slides open with a soft sigh and click. The room within is dark. As they enter, lights come on. In the far wall, dimly visible, is set a wide shelf. Interior day, interrogation room. And upon this shelf, our existence depended. There are always packets on it, things we needed.
No, that's Dapple. Tara, you're Dapple.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thrown in because it was just getting skipped.
Sorry. And upon this shelf, our existence depended. They were all always packets on it, things we needed. That day, it was empty.
Interior day, storeroom. This has obviously never happened before. Jagger enters at this point.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Are you unwell?
Nah, I'm fine. Well, what do we get?
We'll be short on rations today.
I'm sure there will be enough on the shelf tomorrow.
Oh, yes, I'm sure there will.
Jagger strides into the storeroom and peers around until he sees 2 packets right at the corner. One was Fife's cable, one was a pack of cards. He hands them to Harley, who pockets the one with a grunt and displays the other.
Anyone play?
Poker.
Canasta?
Gin rummy.
We'll play later. It'll pass the time in the evening.
The truth is, the cards were a challenge to all of us.
Interior day, interrogation room.
So the cards were a problem?
We would have to sit together to play around a table, facing each other.
What other things turned up in the storeroom, I mean?
There was a piano once.
A piano.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Interesting, disturbing?
Well, no. It turns out, as soon as we'd assembled the piano, May could play beautifully. She just sat there and played. In fact,
Yes.
it turned out that we all played beautifully. Dapple, May, Peef. Is that natural?
Well, were there any other items that may have caused an upset?
There was this other thing. It just It sticks to the back of my mind. We kept it in the piano room.
Was it this?
The officer holds up a model about a foot high with a sleek, streamlined shape.
Hmm.
How would you describe it?
Well, I mean, it was. Sorry, my phone just went. It's heavy, a pointed cylinder with sharp nose and 4 buttressed veins.
Do you know what it is?
I think that it's a model. The real thing was much bigger.
But what is it?
It was in the sky.
Miss May, can you please focus?
I don't remember what it was. Something connected to space with flying?
Can you be more specific?
Whatever it was, thinking about it is unpleasant. The memory, it dodges backwards, and wherever I lay my mental finger on it.
Well, we'll come back to it.
Interior day main lounge. Seated around a white ovoid dining table, they are picking at the meager rations on their plates.
Would anyone like some jam?
She brandishes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll have some, thanks.
You finished it, May. What about the rest of us?
I
Oh, she's taken less than you, Jagger.
well, I think I have more than anyone else. I took it for an interior motive.
I'm sure there will be enough to.
Yes, Calvin, you've said that already. 5 times.
Jagger pushes his chair back and leaves the table.
What May said. Interior motive. It stuck in my mind. Something about it. It's like the dead calm of our days had been disturbed by that object. And her words were a clue.
Interior day interrogation room.
What was a typical day like?
Once we'd opened the store and had breakfast, there seemed no strong reason to stay together. Nothing was in operation to separate us either.
So what did you do?
The women sat and talked about food rationing, the others, different things. I cleaned.
Interior day living quarters. Fife is walking about, wheeling a sleek vacuum cleaner that hums gently. He comes upon Dapple. She is drooped gracefully over something.
Hello, Dapple.
Oh, hey, Beef.
What you got there?
She holds up a sketchbook, an amateurish drawing in progress on the page.
I'm copying that picture.
Peef dutifully turns to examine the painting.
Very nice. A wonderful way to spend the day.
And learn. This is the best way to learn how.
Great idea.
Yes, it is.
Fife moves on. Interior day piano room. Harley steps into what they called the piano room. Almost furtively, he glances around as the soft lights came on. And then he looks at the model displayed on top of the piano. Keeping his eyes on it, Harley sits down on the piano stool.
Those words. Interior motive. They pulled something from the back of my mind to do with space.
So did you discuss this with the others?
No, the thing was not discussable
Because
because of the nature of the thing. because one had to behave like a normal, unworried human being.
Harley hears a footfall behind him. Without looking, he deftly pushes up the piano lid and runs a finger along the keys.
I saw the light in here. I thought I'd drop in while I was passing.
I just thought I would play the piano a while.
Good idea. I will listen.
Good idea.
So you deceived him.
Harley stares, uncomprehending.
You said you had to behave normal and unworried. Why?
Because it felt sound and clear and gave me comfort to do that. Behave like a normal human being.
Interior day interrogation room.
Yes, I see. So bland amiability, always amiable, never quarreling.
It was just Jagger.
Yes,
He was different.
because he smokes.
Harley looks a little hurt, as if the officer is being deliberately obtuse.
Because he smoked, yes, and he would have to go out of the main house to do that every 2 hours, sometimes more often.
Mhm.
Well, but sometimes he liked different things.
I mean, he liked jam today, jam yesterday, but not jam tomorrow.
I think it's I think it's
What?
jam tomorrow and jam to I think it's jam tomorrow and jam yesterday, but never jam today.
What?
Through the looking glass. Okay, never mind. Tell me about today. What was different?
And cut. That's it. Lovely.
And
How was I supposed to pronounce that one? I apologize every
I
time.
have
you
no
pronounce it
idea. I
quite
have no.
differently.
I just saw the name. PF. I think it's a Eastern European name. Sounded. So what does everybody think is going on with the people in this house? I know this was. It must have felt a bit lame, but it's deliberately lame, as you may have guessed. That's why these people talk in such a stilted way. What's going on, and what do you feel about the characters?
but to me, it sounds like they're kind of being sequestered after some kind of mission or voyage or something like that, and something went really sideways on them. And now the officers investigating, trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Any other takes?
I got
Um,
an idea.
Rationing off stuff.
The rationing of stuff. Okay. What about the individuals themselves? What are they?
I don't think they're people. I think they're AI conscious and maybe, made up bodies. Like maybe kind of along the lines of source code, except from using a program. What you've done is recreated like AI clones of people, and perhaps trying to explore their memories as to why an event happened. Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's in the same line, sorry. I think it's in the same line that I don't believe these are real people. I don't believe they are even constructs of people, but proper robots, AIs, and this kind of a training simulation. Like these characters are bits of a program that in itself compromises something bigger. Like Harley is always being more thoughtful about things, questioning things, while Piaf doesn't question anything and is more technically oriented, and others, the characters fall somewhere in between. So there's a series of parameters that are like functions in a program that interact together.
Oh my God, we can totally see your sci-fi background in your answer, Juan. It's just so many things. Yes, Tara.
It felt to me like maybe they were even a military squadron and there was some sort of a pecking order. There were definitely, individual personalities. So and they're talking about food. So I wouldn't actually connect that to AI because they want to eat. And I don't know that that would be something that would be put in per se. if that's not really the point, their point, if an AI situation is like what they're about and how can they emulate human beings, but I don't think food would be one of them. That's just, so it felt like group, I felt like they were being held there or hiding out because they're getting rations. So they are not
Unless they're
going to come and go, huh?
unless they're recounting memories of the people who they were supposed to be, perhaps.
Yes, that's actually what I was thinking. They were memories, you know? That's what I gathered, like they had memories from the past or the future.
Yeah.
I
this
hadn't
is
picked up,
Audra.
I hadn't picked up. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Audra and then Sarah.
After listening to everything, to me, it was like these people were being experimented on. And whether or not they're fragments of people that existed and they're part of a program, it still felt like whatever they're trying to recount, whatever the officer's trying to recount, they were like somehow being experimented on. They didn't know what was up in the sky. They still can't figure out what's going on with that. And then everybody's playing the piano. Why is everybody able to put it together and then play? Is that natural? It just seemed like they were people being experimented on somehow and not knowing, what the hell happened to them.
Lovely. Sarah?
Yeah, I think they were certainly or definitely pre-programmed. It's like they were in some kind of solitary confinement. You know what I mean? Like in some type of holding. And they were like,
Yeah.
like timed and like time stamped, and everything was like pre-programmed, or 8 o'clock is breakfast, 10:45 is snack or little lunch, and then 1 p.m. we meet for lunch, 3:15 snack, that kind of like kind of mode.
Lovely. So Christopher and then Clarence.
I think Erica has had her hand up for a while. She can go before me.
Erica?
So when I was reading this, I thought of them as like a group of, at least for me, it was a group of other people that had done something gone afoul of society, and so they were chosen to do something, some kind of experiment or something like that. And the backstory that I had for May was that she had been part of some kind of scam group, she had done, not so correct things in her past, so she was a little hardened, but she has an insecurity about her size as well. And that these were a group of people that were thrown together because they were like the dredges of society to be experimented upon.
Really fascinating. You guys are amazing. Right, Clarence and then Navid.
And just kind of reading this I before and then hearing it now too, I'm getting the sense that these are maybe possibly some sort of robot, but I get the sense that this is like maybe some sort of simulation, possibly, where and it is some sort of like experiment, and these are like a group of people who maybe had done something wrong, and so that's why there's some sort of officer or interrogating them. But the reason why they can't, like, she's asking them questions and okay, I can't remember, or it was this thing and they can't quite describe it because maybe this thing is in early stages and they're kind of working out the kinks, and so they can't quite remember exactly. They can't the linkage between their real body or whatever real form of consciousness is, the linkage is weak or whatever the case may be, and so they can't quite remember things. And that's kind of the sense that I got. And it's also so it kind of reminded me a little bit of The Matrix, but also I'm getting kind of like, in a weird way, The Walking Dead almost, with the whole idea of the rations and stuff too. So
Interesting. Sorry, we've got to go to Christopher because I skipped him. Sorry, darling. Christopher, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I kind of had a similar take to Chris Black and to Audra in terms of while they may not be human, they may also not be completely alien either. They might be some echo or some hint of human or something that could pass for human. But in terms of what's happened to them, I think that really depends on who this officer is, who this interrogator is, depending on how that character is read, and if this is like a handful of scenes that we see this officer in, or if the officer is a recurring character, the memory issues that they're experiencing either have to be suppressed or missing. If they're missing, Chris, your interpretation that there may be an AI or they're a construct of people is interesting, because that would mean that the officer is potentially trying to see how well the experiment's gone. If they tried to digitally copy people's minds or consciousness or personage, this could literally just be a test of them going, how much did we get? How much did we copy? If they're manipulating these memories a bit from here, a bit from here to create new personages, it might be a take on like, well, how looks like they were all able to play piano, but yet they're all still kind of just grasping for this concept of food and what they actually find acceptable and palatable and things like that. So, so who this officer is, whether or not they're sinister, you know, that's just if the memories are missing. If the memories are being suppressed, then, you know, is the officer trying to see if that suppression is working, or trying to see if things are kind of bleeding out the edges that shouldn't be? Should they be remembering that object? Should they be feeling emotions connected to that object? Or is that a sign that maybe the suppression techniques that they're using are breaking down or not working as intended? And maybe that leads to other things. So just some of my hot takes.
Okay, Navid, and then Christy, and then Chris, and then Juan.
I look at it as a future of prison reform, where the people, they either experience a massive memory wipe and they're getting reprogrammed, but it's a method to the madness. And something went wrong, and that's how come the officer is interrogating everybody. They're trying to look at ways of reintegrating these people back into society and give them skills or attributes or something like that. But things didn't go quite the way that they were planned. And the reason why I also say it's like prison reform, I mean, you're looking at rations, for example, you're looking at these people wondering where they are, you know, in this enclosed place. So I'm looking at that as a futuristic way of reforming and reformatting prisoners by changing their brain patterns.
That's fantastic, Navid. My God, I love where your brain goes. That's amazing. I might let you just make that film. That's okay. So Christy next.
Hey, I actually was having trouble on my end hearing what Navid said, but I caught bits of it. I think he basically said part of what I was thinking was a glitch where, you know, I hate to use this reference, but I can't think of anything else right now. It's like, you know, in Men in Black, when they wiped the memory, but they're not human. So they just wiped part of the memory and there was a glitch. And so the officer is interrogating them to find out what they actually do know. I think Navid might have captured it, but I couldn't hear everything that he was saying. So that was my vibe of what I gathered so far.
Chris?
Cool. Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. And yeah, I think like them being synthetics potentially might make sense. They might not be. I don't suppose it really necessarily matters if they are or not. However, if they're performing space travel, that might be quite useful. And then people are trying to convince them that they're real. Hence, you know, you can simulate giving them food or whatever passes for food. But I think hinting at the thing about space, this one event that people can't remember, is it perhaps because either A, it's just so traumatic, it's fried their brains or their circuits, and it's been such a horrible and nasty event that's really gotten to their core. That's why no one can remember it. Like, you know, if you have an alien ship lands in films, quite often the people just black out.
Totally.
But yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's so funny you say that, because one thing that I was thinking was the reason why there's just fragments, so many fragments of memories and thoughts and things, and maybe the testing that I was thinking about might be because these people are being experimented potentially with going through different dimensions, like repeatedly, you know, that might be part of it.
Cool. That sounds
We
about
have
right.
Juan next, and then Divya, and then Braxton.
Yeah, the thing, I mean, everything sounds amazing right now so far. The thing that's throwing me off the most, and it's more questions than answers, but is the character of Jagger. First, the fact that he's different from the rest, he's confrontational, which is not what the others are. Second, the fact that he smokes, he goes out of the building. Through him, we know that there is a building and an outside, and he goes every 2 hours, sometimes even more often. So leads me to think that he's not one of them. Also, I don't know if it's a typo or not, but during half of the script, Jagger is written as Jagger 1, and then he appears as Jagger. So there's a thing going on there about the multiplicity of people within the same person. It makes me think that he's not one of them, like the control group within the test group, in a way. So that guy goes outside, not to smoke, but to tell whomever, yeah, it's going well, this is happening, going back in. Something of that sort, because the character is a bit, on the weird side.
Juan, you're just such a sci-fi nerd. You're just nearly there. Yes, Chris.
Or is he smoking? No, it's okay. I think it's been a noise. But yeah, no, that's a good point about the smoking. Is he smoking? Or is he going outside to do a report? Or, I mean, Jaeger, that could be, that's a nondescript. That could be officer. So perhaps he's going out, and then Jaeger 2 is just a replacement, whoever.
Jaeger? That's so cute. Okay, Divya?
I could connect with the movie Us, where I felt maybe there could be clones. One set of people who do things repeatedly, and there are some dialogues which very specifically mention them laughing at the same joke which is being made every day. So something which is repeatedly happening, and some supplies that they are getting, and we don't know where these supplies are coming from. So just if I could imagine some set of people controlling or managing them and making them do some bad things or wrong things which they're not supposed to do. But maybe like a clone thing which I could get in mind. So the movie Us I could relate with.
Us is a great reference. Braxton, did you still want to speak, darling?
1 second. I was just saying that this whole thing kind of reminds me of that series that's out now called Silo, and where they finally eventually she goes out and cleans, and most people die and stuff. Now she's learning at the end that there's hundreds of other silos. So it's almost like a whole conspiracy theory they're going through.
Silo is also a very good reference, Braxton. Thank you. Christy?
Yeah, I mean, thank God I'm caught up on Silo, but spoiler. But yeah, I love that show. I love the vibe and the aesthetic of the show, and just the whole thing. But what I was going to say, in addition to Silo, was something that hit me while we were talking about it, was Severance. I don't know who's seen that already, but just that idea of like them being glitches, but also maybe the subconscious forgets. So I have to really think more about it, but I think Severance was also something that came to my mind in this theme.
I loving all these references. I'm going to have to watch Severance now, Christy. Thanks very much.
This is Audra again.
Yes, Audra. Audra and then Christopher. Okay. Yep.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to say this because it keeps popping up in my head when everybody's talking visually in my mind. Like when I read that, it's like a really short Ayn Rand book called Anthem. I'm not sure if anybody's read it here. It's like, but what it's about, it just, I don't know, something about this kind of also, and what everybody's saying reminded me of almost like the aftermath of that, like way in the future or something. I don't know. It just keeps popping up in my head. So I had to say it.
That's an interesting reference. Christopher.
Having read, the upcoming exercise and everything, and then a little bit kind of based on the comments by Chris Black, I do wonder now if, maybe Jaeger was a plant and, was there to try to figure out if there was more going on than what the officer could directly see. And if, usually when folks have either repression or lack of access to memories, they're not their complete selves, and they can do some pretty outrageous things. So, there could have been an incident that happened that he got discovered as the plant. They didn't quite know what was going on, but they knew that something was going on, and that they there was an altercation that led to him dying. But if what they are in is not like a normal, regular plane of existence, he may not actually be dead. He just may be removed from their immediate vicinity, and the death could have actually been a fabrication. And perhaps those smoke breaks that he was taking was actually him, in fact, reporting into officer to let him know, like, okay, this is what you're getting from them when you interview them directly, but this is what I'm actually getting from them. It seems to me like they have a certain level of comfort with the officer, even as they're getting questioned, and even in some cases as the questioning is in the realm of the uncomfortable for them. So it kind of almost feels a bit like maybe this isn't the first time that they've been sitting here being kind of going through this. It seems like it could have been happening before, and it's still happening now. It just happens to be different days, different topics.
Wonderful. Right. Before I tell you all what's actually happening, because we do have to write one cohesive script here, coming from the same place. Unfortunately, I love all your takes so much, but the actual take is actually quite doable in terms of acting. Shreyasta and Eason, darling, you're all right, sweetie. Are you okay?
I have actually just really enjoyed hearing everybody else's interpretations of what we just read. Divya, I really appreciated what you said, because I feel like the very beginning there is kind of some indication perhaps of what's going on, and it can be found in those actions and in that dialogue. But I kind of felt like, just from a character standpoint, like my role was to placate others. And so, there was this idea of just this repeated thing happening over and over and over. I make the same joke every day. It might not even be funny, but everybody laughs at it still, so we're picking up on this rote behavior. And, I think that that's a huge clue. So I've really enjoyed hearing everybody else though. So.
Shreyasta?
Yeah, mostly everything has been said by Divya and others, so I'll just add on a little bit, not taking much time. I also enjoyed listening to Tara, the way she, added the intervals and the way she said it. And also when Christy was like picking up the things, she was really into the character. And actually, as a writer, that also makes me think, okay, yeah, these are the cues one should add. And Erika, as always, awesome. I'm always like mind blown on what she is doing, and it's you're like superb. I felt like we're in a matrix and it's never ending. And I like the fact that everybody in the character is also playing along. They know they're not like, what is this again? It's again. But I really like how it went. It's mysterious and making me curious, and like it feels like I'm getting in into another never-ending loop. So I loved it.
Yep, I cast Christy for a reason, because I knew she could crack the whip, and she brings a sharpness to this character that it's worth casting a woman for, just for this. Wonderful. I just want to acknowledge Rosemary, sweetheart. Thank you for joining us. Looking stunning today. I know that you had an important event today and you still managed to join us. I appreciate your dedication, darling. I really do. I would like you to listen back. I'll send you the recording so you can listen to the reading, because we are going to work on our monologues next week based on today's reading and this script. Okay, I'll brief you on that later. So okay, so here's the revelation. All the characters, because I want you to all write your monologues or scenes coming from the same point of view. So sorry to disappoint you, but the setting is that they are all aliens. And they have arrived in a spaceship, and they arrived in, they were kind of manufactured bodies given human form, and they were programmed with certain personalities, cliche personalities, to blend into humanity. But the spaceship was intercepted by human Space Force or whoever, we don't know, and they tried to get these aliens to tell them who they really are and where they're from, and that process fried their brains. So now these aliens dressed up as humans don't know anymore who they are. They just know that they're behaving in a strange way, they are living in this, and because they don't really know what it means to be human, to them this is normal. to them like, yes, we are doing what we are programmed to do. This is what Wen Harvey says, that it felt comfortable and correct to be, you know, kind of unworried and normal human being, because that's what they're programmed to do. And the two Jaggers are also being put there. They're the humans who have been put into this house to test these aliens, to see, will they notice they're actually two different men posing as Jagger. And one man likes jam, the other doesn't, but otherwise they're very similar in look and feel and voice, but there are slight differences. So because these are aliens, they do not notice these subtle differences in the same guy. And then we don't know what happens, but one of the Jaggers ends up dead. One day they open the storeroom and they find this dead body. So, and the officer is part of the Space Force who has captured the aliens, and her job is to, without giving away the game, get them to confess who they really are, where are they from, why are they doing this, you know, and all of that. So her attitude is kind of both contemptuous and afraid, you know, so because she doesn't know what these aliens are capable of. They arrived in the spaceship that nobody, I'll tell you now, nobody is able to access. It's like the spaceship from Arrival. It just hangs in the sky and you can't access it. Hey, Nate. Good to see you. Rosemary is going to need your help next week. So that's the premise. That's the situation. Now I would like all of us, including me, I will write and I will shoot myself as well. We are going to all write a monologue or a script based on ourselves as a character in the quarters, okay? And it could be out and around the quarters. Maybe you have been released into the human population and you're going around being your weird self. So what are you feeling? What are you thinking? What are you remembering about how you arrived? Okay, and which particular cliched human personality have you been programmed with? What are your experiences of humanity? I just want us to explore what it means to be human by not being human, if that makes sense. Yeah. So what I loved about all of you, you're all so amazingly fucking brilliant, is your takes were all so unique. And each one, you know, tells us something, unfortunately tells us something about you. Your takes tell us about you, which is if each one of us made this film, we would all make a different film. So I'm sorry to impose my premise on you, but we have making one film, yeah. Okay, so we have to go with one premise, all right? So that is the premise. And go ahead and write something that you can see yourself shooting. I mean, Braxton has access to amazing scenery and locations around where he is, so I'd like him to write something set outside. Divya, please write something that you can shoot out and around in your amazing city where you are. And similarly, Audra and Clarence, you're in LA, make use of the dystopian background. So, you know,
I'm in Atlanta.
You're where? You're in Atlanta. Stop being in Atlanta, dude. You're supposed to be in LA. What you doing?
I'm in St. Louis.
I'm just joking. Chris, if you could shoot on your ship, I know if you can't, I understand, but you know, that would be amazing. Chris works on a ship, people. He's got this really, really cool job that is super secret, but yeah, it's really hot.
I want to shoot on this ship.
I know. Chris, come on. Can we all come and visit you, please?
Well, it's more like a floating jail than a ship, really.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, imagine being on a ship with a whole lot of gruff kind of oil men or whatever it is. Like, it'd be so atmospheric. Stop waving, Chris. We know it's exciting.
We're so friendly.
Yeah. In Scotland as well. Absolutely. And Naveed, you should write something set in your amazing, please write something and I will help you to figure out a way to shoot it, okay? Because we would love the color and the setting and your kind of take on things. So as many of you as possible, if you need help, I'm happy to work with the actors to work out your character, your mannerisms and all that, but you have to find someone locally to shoot it. Divya, I think I could hook you up with, you know, Trishara, the actress. I know she's very, very keen to work with me. I think she's in South somewhere. And she's pretty well known.
Sure, I would love to. We'll connect with you separately on it.
Yes, yeah. So, you know, you can write something she could act in it. It'd be great to have her in this film. Like, fuck.
Fiona?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I can wait.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, you know, because I gave her a bit of personality and emotion But
Mhm.
since we're aliens, do you want me to stay more monotone? They're not quite, she's not, because she's, suppressing memories because it scares her, or is that true? Like there's a lot of different emotions and layers going on with her. So
But
I
just
just
don't
gave-
see, you have been programmed with a certain personality, Tara. Okay.
Okay.
Now I don't know if that's a soccer mom or if it's a valley girl or what it is, but it's kind of very set stereotypes, but you keep breaking out of it because you don't really know what it means to be that person.
Okay.
Yeah. So just explore that, but let's not go too far down the stereotypical route because this is not a sketch comedy. I wanted to seem kind of borderline horror. Okay, because the sketch, I mean, the scene I have in mind, I'm probably going to be eating a human. So yeah, there's that. Pretty dark. Any other questions?
I have a question. Like, all of us have to shoot something?
Yes, ideally. I mean, if you are absolutely unable to, then I understand. But I would really like all of us to, because that is what we are doing here. We're making films. And the purpose of this exercise is to see if we were to make something, how would we, each of us, make this happen, right? At the moment, I'm just asking you to shoot it on iPhones if possible.
Next week I am on a holiday, but yeah, I will
You're just
try.
writing, sweetie. Next week, we are all just writing. And we're
Writing.
presenting our scenes next Sunday for the whole group to critique and shred. And then the week after this is when we are shooting it. All right.
Got it.
Excellent. Now we have another script to read, which is an extract from my play called Why Did Fuzzy Have to Die? Does everybody know what parts they're reading? I mean, I know that Rosemary is reading Aisha. We do not have Kaveri. So Sarah, are you able to, do you have the script? Yeah, Sarah? Okay, so can you read Mrs. Khan?
I thought I was just reading bartender, reading Tully's part. No?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. So Shreyasta, can I ask you to read Mrs. Khan? Because Kaveri hasn't joined us.
Which part is it? Like
Mrs. Khan.
I need to download it.
Okay, never mind. I'll read it. I'm just so bad at reading. I shall try my best. Okay. I hate reading. I'm not an actor. Just putting it out there. Okay. Right. So this is called Why Did Fuzzy Have to Die? And why we're reading this is not only because it's my play, but because here we have disjointed monologues where we find out what really happened by means of each character, talking to themselves or talking to the reporter in this case. So, I just want us to explore this, how to tell a story through people talking to a third party who's exploring the story. Yeah. So just to give us all ideas.
I'm good at it. If you want, I can read it.
Yeah, you got it?
I got it. Yeah, I have it.
Oh, that'd be wonderful, darling, if you could read it, because my accent is awful. All right. So who's the reporter? Do we know who's reading reporter?
I have my Instagram. Just a second.
How are you doing, Tally, darling? Are you feeling better? Yeah, I know you can't read. It's fine. It's fine. Understand.
This is Rosemary is okay. Quarters, right?
Not quarters. Not quarters. We are reading Why Did Fuzzy Have to Die?
Why did Fuzzy? No, then that's not
Oh,
written.
okay. Never mind. You know what? I think we will not read this today because I think two of the actors who were supposed to read this have not turned up. Very, very naughty. Extremely naughty. I will have words with them. So anyways, what we can do, I'm so sorry, Rosemary, sweetie. I know you practiced this reading.
It's fine. It's fine. So we're not reading it anymore?
No, I don't think so because we are missing some actors who were key to reading this. And I'm kind of...
Okay.
If it helps at all, I'm willing to do a read, but I don't have this particular script. But
No, no, there'll probably be a female.
Yeah, I don't have the script either. That's why I'm looking for it.
Yeah, don't worry, darling. It's fine. We will read it next week. Okay, because I still have it. Sorry about that, Rosemary.
It's
But,
fine.
yeah.
Okay.
So can we discuss this short films a little bit more? And if ask me any more questions that you have about the shoot or the monologue, because I did give everybody, for the people who joined us
Yeah.
later, we had an exercise of writing a script or a scene based on a setting and prop that we all have to hand. But I don't think we all kind of got that quite right. But so this is the second chance. This time, think from the point of view of, if Clarence wants to shoot the scene, he's going to have to think of a setting or a scene or a background that he has to hand, an interesting prop he can use. It's got to be practical sort of items. But and if you can use an actor, Clarence, that's great, because I'd rather you were the director, camera, whatever, filmmaker here. Yeah.
Hey,
so-
Sean, I got a question.
Yes.
When we did the prop thing, is that when I did the thing where I was talking about the ring in the script I did?
Yeah, you got it. You got it right. Absolutely. You had a prop. You had an amazing setting that you had access to, I guess. So yeah, you did. You got it right.
I was trying to make sure that's what we were talking about.
That's the one we're talking about. You're right
Thank
about
you.
that. Okay, so any questions about what we're doing? Or your takes on the premise?
So,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
So, we'll write a page or so, I guess, kind of a scene, right, for next week. And
Yep.
then starting Monday, or whatever, we'll sometime during the following week, we'll have to shoot that scene so
Yeah.
2 Sundays from now, we'll have a 1 or 2 page scene, and then we'll have shot it by 2 weeks from now.
Yes, that's right. Once you've shot it, you will send me the video and I will put it together, and I will stream it so we can all watch it together.
Okay.
All right. So I'm not going to put it on social media before we've all watched it together. Don't worry about that.
That's interesting because Clarence is in Atlanta. Chris is somewhere in the western North Carolina. I'm in eastern North Carolina.
yeah, Braxton, let's side channel and we can figure out getting together.
Yes, yes, this is what it's all about, people. Let's do it. Come on.
I work as I don't look like it today, but I work as a flight attendant. So on my
Oh.
days off, I can fly anywhere if anyone wants to work.
But where are you though, Erica? Where are you?
Right now I'm sweltering in the third circle of hell of Arizona, known as Bullhead City. 132 degrees yesterday. Yay! Today it's 130. Woo!
Yes.
And my air conditioning is not working. Yay!
Oh
So
my God. Yeah.
so yeah, so I'm based out of Minneapolis, but my house is in Bullhead. I'm flying to Minneapolis Friday.
Okay, so people, please connect with each other. See if you can get together, shoot each other. Don't just, one of you just be the actor. Try to help the other person shoot their segment. So keeping that in mind when you write this week, just think of who and how can help you and write according to what can be shot. Please do not set a scene in a spaceship. Okay, or on no green screen at all. Please, thank you. Yes, darling. Oh, you're just saying okay. Yes, you're sorted, darling. I'm with you and Juan. You're both sorted. I'll
So
shoot
we
your
just
stuff. Yes.
So are we just writing another script to what you wrote adjacent
You're
to what you?
writing. Yes, you're writing the next scene. Okay, with a dialogue or not, to attach to complete or continue this script.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So invent your own character. It doesn't have to be one of these characters. You can invent your own character, or you can be one of them. So is that clear? I mean, you could be a character called Braxton.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Christopher, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I know sometimes to get the whole Zoom meeting down to like the relevant bits can take a bit. but would it be possible for us to just get a clip tomorrow or so that had your revelation of like the direction that you intend for it to go, just for reference? So I took some notes, but it's really easy over time for me to be, you know, not necessarily in full.
Would it help if I write down, now that everybody knows it's no secret, I can write it down as a brief for everybody? Would that help?
Yeah, either is fine. Yep. I just want to make sure I don't maybe get this really interesting idea and then end up accidentally defocusing.
No, the idea is not interesting, darling, but the key thing is I want us all to be making the same idea. Okay, so that, you know, this is not going to be shown anywhere. This is just an exercise in seeing, can we do it? And I really believe we can. So don't worry about the production value, but I know some of us will. I certainly will. But try to remember, we will shoot in horizontal. So we will see your background. Think about what your background is, where your setting is, what you're doing in the story. Are you walking? Don't just sit in one place. Okay, just think about all this. Think cinematic. Okay, and yes, to answer somebody's question, Christy is in LA. Who else is in LA? Noah is in LA-ish.
Noah, are you in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Okay, I didn't know.
I'll be here for I don't know, a couple months or so. There's a lot of work stopping right now, so I got some writing time.
Can you help some people out with their shoot, Noah?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Link
such
me
a
up.
sweetie. Thank you. That's wonderful. And anybody who would like some time alone with me to work out your character, you know, I'm happy to do that. Okay. Right, how we doing? Is that clear, everybody? And Navid, I would like another piece of music from you for this particular script as well.
Okay, I actually more comfortable that than actually writing.
No, darling, after having heard what you came up with today, you're absolutely brilliant. You know, I will help you write it. And also I will put a link in our Instagram chat of free screenwriting software that we can all use. Because if I have to read another script written in kind of, I don't know what form, I think I might be sick. So yeah, please use that free screenwriting software to write
Just
it
off
as
the
a
top,
screenplay.
there's just off the top of the head, there's Celtex, CLTX, there's Studio Binder. I'm sure there's some other ones, but those are two that are really good and that you can do.
Well, you know, have you heard of Fade In? Fade In is used by film students who can't afford anything else. The thing is that when you print it, it puts a watermark, but we don't care about that, okay? It puts a watermark on the script. Otherwise, it's completely functional and pretty good screenwriting software that, you know, film students are using now. So try and check it out. There's Fade In, there's Fountain, which is a web-based screenwriting software. So please use the formatting, okay?
And FYI, Final Draft has a mobile version you can use on your iPad or phone, and it's only $10. And it works really well.
Okay.
Yeah, Final Draft is good. Even writers do it is good.
Yeah, so please exchange this information among yourself. This coming week, I'm going to be insanely busy. Please help each other out. And, you know, I will hear your scripts next week. Nobody's shooting, we are writing this week, okay? And Nate, I will get in touch with you because I think you missed the reading, because I want Rosemary to be able to read and act in her piece as well. So she's going to need your help, darling, okay? Awesome. All right, people.
Real quick.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear. So are we writing more of this is a one-person monologue, or is this a scene where, you know, maybe they're having a conversation with somebody off screen or something like that type of thing?
Well, let me tell you what I'm writing, which I haven't written it, but it's already in my head, is, you know, the alien meets a child. So I have a child in my script. So I'm casting other people because I have access to it. It's again about what you've got. So I'm shooting this outdoors. I have a child and I have the alien. So you can cast other people, you know, you have to make sure you get their permission to to shoot them. And, you know, whatever. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Go wild. Okay. All right. Any other questions? You can put it in the
Where do
chat and
babies come
everybody.
from?
What?
I said, where do babies come from?
Oh, thank you. No, we're happy to see where your mind is. That's the script you're going to be writing. Okay. All right, darlings. Thank you very
Bye.
much. Huan, thank you for joining me. And
Thank you, Shona.
I will get in touch with you via email because I know you're not on the Insta chat. Okay. All right. Bye, kids.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Shona. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Bye.
Happy writing.